Okay, what are we doing today? Well, we're playing with some Star Wars official licensed shirt that would appear. And in this, the reason we're doing this is there's an electronic device by the look stitched into the corner here. I'm guessing it's probably musical of some kind. Can't feel a switch in there. But I'm going to pick this out and see what's in there. Now, for that task, we've got the good old quick unpick. I'm going to try and keep this shirt usable because it's a reasonably nice looking shirt. I just need to find where the first stitch is here. It looks like they've done it with an overlocker. So it's actually nice stitching. But once we can unpick a couple, we should be able to take the rest of them out. Anyway, we'll continue in this fashion until we get this out. Have the stitching open, and already this doesn't look good. Well, there's a speaker in there, and there's some batteries, and a little black blob circuit. I think these batteries have leaked, or at least this one specifically, and it's just gassed off in there. Oh, this could be harder to fix than the teddy bear I did a little while ago. But let's chop this packet open and see what's in there. Wonder if this is going to dissolve my scissors. It looks fairly dry in there. But I'm going to cut around the edge here in the hope that I can peel this top layer off. Yeah. Alright, it doesn't look great, I'll say that much. Wow. Looks pretty horrible. I don't know if I'm going to be able to recover this. But, well, okay, so the speaker's attached to the back. Well, it's got wiring to the speaker, so at the very least, we should be able to disconnect the speaker and hook it up to another one if that's stuffed, but oh, this might not be as bad as it looks. I've got to get them batteries out first anyway, so let's peel them out. Right, so that's the degrading batteries out of the way. I don't think I've seen button cells fail quite as badly as this in the past. Now, there's this rubber thing here. This has got a carbon track under, or carbon pad under it, I would assume. And that's the trigger button that will need to be removed. As will mostly everything else. So I think I need to strip this down. As battery holders are not long for this world, but they might come good. We'll see. But all that acid having been contained has just settled on everything. Oh, God. Alright, I'm going to give this a bit of a spray of some contact cleaner to start with, just to try and settle it down a bit, and we'll go from there. Oh, alright, I'm going to see if I can get this speaker separated next. Right, see how bad. Well, the speaker cone looks alright, and it's a plastic cone, it might have survived. That's the bits we're looking for. We want to lift these. Well, okay, there's not much left of them. These hold on that little ring that holds the button on. So, okay. Our contacts look there. Oh, this could come back to life. Doesn't look too bad. That track's pretty well gone by the looks, but I'll have to look at this under the microscope in a bit. It still needs a bit of a clean and a brush up with a toothbrush. And I'm thinking I might even chop these battery holders off. Oh God, this is dirty. Okay, I think that's a piece of track just flaked away there. The tracks on this look to be fairly thick. There we go. Definitely designed as single use. Yep, it's a piece of track that's missing there. Alright, this is going to get some contact cleaner and a toothbrush, and we'll be back and see how good we can make this look. Alright, we've made one hell of a mess. I'm going to have to clean up my desk here in a minute. But we are looking considerably cleaner here. And as most of the tracks seem intact, we could do this. Under these battery holders, particularly the one that is obviously the battery that failed, this looks pretty shit. but I don't have batteries like this, so I'm probably going to just chop all these battery holders off and give it a scrub. I might even try and lift them off the board. I notice it's a single layer board and they've put everything on the track side, which is unusual. But yeah, I'll try and get these off, but I'll clean up all this junk first. This is probably dried up acid. Right, so the time has come to peel the battery holders off, and I've already pushed these pins back on the underside here. So I'm going to get a few things ready, like a pair of tweezers and a soldering iron. We're going to put a bit of fresh solder in these. So I'm pretty sure the acid's done a good job of oxidizing everything here. We'll see if we can get these up without using the heat gun. Let's use tweezers in the left hand. This is going to be fun. Oh, these are going to come up quite nicely. Alright, let's get the rest of these off. Alright, so that's the battery holders off. I'm going to give this one more quick little scrub and clean it up. And then that'll be my time done for the night. So we will attach some wires tomorrow morning and see if we can get some sound out of this. And that's it, cleaned up with the battery holders off. Not perfect, but much more operable than it was before. So tomorrow morning we'll hook up some wires to this and see if we can get it happening. There's a bit of a chunk out of the track just up there. I can see this area here being a problem. I'm not sure if that's a crack or what that is, but we can easily jump that. That's not too much of a problem. Looks like they originally designed this board to take an 8-pin dip, but and instead decided to just glue the module down and wire it straight to those pads. So they're using a magic blob now. Interesting. And yeah, that track probably won't be a huge problem. We only need to switch between these two. And most of these battery holders are going to be less of a problem, so we've got to connect to that one here and that one here. I think that looks like ground. So yeah, those two. We can pretty well cut the bottom half of that board off if we wanted. Oh, there is a serial number here, I've noticed now too. Can we actually clean this serial number up? Have a quick squeeze at this. Oh, some of this stuff is just surface junk. That comes off rather easy. So, that makes it a KD514AE. Not sure where that's come from, but I'm certainly something I can Google. Anyway, this is going to wait till the morning. Right, so it's the next morning and most of my adulting duties are done for the day, or at least till my little apprentice wants to come back from school. So we're going to pull these speaker leads off and we're going to put some fresh ones on here. I'm just going to try and pick up this with soldering iron, and we'll put a little bit of fresh stuff right here. Now we're going to tin up a couple of new leads, put them on, and then we're going to attach our power connection, see if this thing lives. So next job is tinning the leads we intend on using. So we're just going to get a good little pull happening here, and I'll exchange it for fresh stuff because this is flux core solder and we want the flux to do its job. That's my extraction fan getting in the way there. That's one of them things I've been lazy about. I need to make a fan grill for that extraction fan. This cable is quite old and oxidized. It's taken quite a bit to get the solder to take on it. Alright, let's get this on the board. I've had to spin the camera around the other angle because I need some room to work here. We're going to trim these quite short here, and I need a little bit of something to work with on these pads here. Hoping I remembered the correct pads here. I believe these are the speaker ones. I have the shakes this morning. It's never fun. Medication changes. Alright, get that in there. Now I need to tin a pad for power. I'm using red for the speaker and green for the power just because of the cable lengths. Otherwise I would normally use two different colours to clearly indicate the polarity, but notice I've marked on the board that this one is a positive. I'm not sure from that camera angle you'll be able to see the permanent marker there, but this one's definitely negative over here. And being as I don't intend to reinstall those battery holders, I'm just going to solder straight to this pad here, which has got a lot of battery acid under it. But we'll be right. We will be right. That's the correct one. Because if I don't speak clearly, the automatic captioning is going to play havoc with this. Bring them off the same side. Do you know what? Let's do something fancy. I'll spin the whole thing around. Bring them off either side. And my cable distance is roughly even then. Right, now we need a permanent marker over here to mark our negative. This is our negative wire here. We're going to make sure it's got a bit of marking on it here. Alright, now let's dig up 4.5 volts on the variable supply, because these what batteries are they? They are LR1130s, which are 1.5 volts. They've got AAA written on them. I'm not sure what that's about, but anyway, let's get voltage hooked up. Right, so we've dialed up 4.5 volts here, and that is feeding in from the uppermost variable supply up here, which was donated to me by the late and great Ken Anderson, whom I will always remember, particularly as he was rather intelligent. Now we need to hook up our connections here. This one here, and oh, camera angle is horrible here. Let's move this round. Alright, this should be 4.5 volts to the board. Nothing's blown up. Oh, I need to hook the speaker up first. One moment. Give the speaker quite a bit of a cleanup off camera. That's what I did this morning to wake up. Give me something to do. I suspect I'm kind of stuck to the cone here, but I need to shorten these up a smidge. Right. Take the end off these leads a little bit. Wow, I am really shaky today. I'm not sure how well that comes across on camera, but it's almost a problem soldering. If I hadn't been doing this for so many years, I'd be in a bit of trouble. Alright, now because I've got one speaker, polarity doesn't really matter because we're not worried about phase. Looks like I had that blue tack stuck to the cone, but luckily the cone's okay. Let's hook our power back up again. Make a note of my black mark on that lead over here, and I'll grab our other lead up here. These little clips are magic. I love them. I have to get some more of them. Alright, now we need something conductive to touch across there. My tweezers might do it. Let's see. Go from one side to the other. Nope, not quite. Alright, let's see if I can find a carbon pad. We're going to improvise ourselves a finger on a stick, or an extra conductive finger on a stick. I'm going to take one of these pads from my remote control repair kit. I'm going to take a hot glue stick and a flame. We're going to heat that slightly, and I'm going to stick this pad onto the end of the glue stick for a moment. Now we have a pad. Let's see if this works. See if we can get some life out of this. Nothing yet. Alright. Back to the drawing board for a minute. We'll do some testing. Didn't get very far. I realized I had switched the power off. So let's try now. It works. And it's not the one not the one I thought it would be. Wonder if this will drive a bigger speaker. This is quite loud. Let's find a different speaker. Now, this is a bit of a stretch, but this is the other speaker I had sitting around. These are some drivers donated to me by Leonard Audio. good mob to go and check out when you want some quality stuff. Not sponsored, of course. Now, I think I might do this with a couple of clip leads because I'm going to use this for a serious project at some point. Let's get this hooked up. This is going to be a little tricky given the space constraints we have here. But let's hook our 4.5 volts back up and see what happens. This could be loud. The speaker's right near the camera, so let's try this. Okay, well, it's certainly pulling a little bit more current. It's clipping on the power supply a little bit, but it does work on a bigger speaker. I just didn't want to get done for a copyright claim there, but it is working, and on a big speaker. It's just really compressed. Like they've clipped it off, I think, to meet the frequency capability of that chip. But still, it does work. Interesting stuff. I think I'll put that little speaker back on it and I'll use it for something. I'm not sure what, but yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave this here. Success. This was just purely experimental. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. And yeah, give you a thumbs up if you can't see it. It's right there. See you next time.